What up? What up? What up? Welcome to the Live Game Season 3, Episode 5, The Average Man's Perspective on Football. I am your co-host, Marcus. Joining me on the panel tonight is Herman. Say what up, Herman.
Hey.
Next up is Mark. Say what up, Mark.
Good evening.
And last but not least is at Brian T. Holly Sr. on Twitter.
Thanks for joining us.
Before we get started tonight, I want to encourage everyone, if you're watching on YouTube, to like, share, subscribe. Hopefully get these likes and views up. You can also catch us on Facebook and our Facebook group, The Live Game. You can also catch us on Twitter at Official The Live Game. And that's it. Is that it? I said Instagram.
You did say Instagram?
I did say Instagram.
Okay.
And so Brian is hosting tonight. So go ahead and get it started off at Brian T. Holly Sr. on Twitter.
Yeah, let's go, Eddie Kane.
Yeah, thank you for my coworkers for being extra this afternoon. Thank you guys for joining us again for the Live Game. We're really excited and got a lot going on. A lot of hot topics. Hey, what's going on, Joe? Thanks for joining us, man. What's up, everybody? A lot of things going on in the NFL, which we're going to get it started off right now with a few COVID stories. The first COVID story we're going to talk. First we're going to talk about a firing earlier in the week. Bill O'Brien from the Texans was relieved of his coaching and general manager's duties on Monday. O'Brien had actually coached from 2014 to the present, and he lost his job due to an 0-4 start and many behind-the-scenes issues with others in the organization, including their star defensive lineman Watt. But in 7 seasons, his record was 52-48. He actually won 4 division titles. The Texans decided to turn the reins over to associate head coach Romeo Crennel.
Brian, I'm sorry. Somebody needs to turn their TV down.
Yeah, man, somebody turned that TV down. It's crazy.
Okay.
But he was an interim. He got named the interim head coach. So what do you guys think? Was it good timing, bad timing, too soon, too late? We're going to wait for Marcus last on this one because he's been our resident Bill O'Brien hater. Let's start this one off with Herman.
Yeah, in my opinion, it was too late. When you let him trade away one of the top receivers in the league, you got back trash.
Not even a number one. Number one.
And then you flip it, and a couple weeks later, the Vikings make a big trade for one of the other top receivers in the league. You messed up. The ownership messed up, so now they're trying to rectify. You might as well have gone ahead and fired him. That way, when the season is over, whenever it's over, you can make your jump to get one of the better coaches that you're going to target. But in my opinion, it was definitely too late. There had been, some rumblings with him and the receiver he traded.
Hopkins.
I always forget his name. Hopkins before he left. And then, like you said, the whole thing with J.J. Watt coming up. So it was just that time, almost like what happened with Jacksonville, how they had to get rid of Tom Coughlin. That creating that bad environment with the players and in the organization. You got to cut that out and just get done with it. So get it done, move on, and maybe you can salvage your season.
What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I agree with the Herman, man. They waited too late for this, man. You within 12 months, within a year, you traded your one of your top defensive linemen, Jadeveon Clowney. You also traded your top wide receiver. You get no draft capital for the deal you made with Laramie Tunsil and trading for him. So you basically handicap whoever the new coach is going to be, whoever your new GM is going to be. You handicap him for the next year. His record was 52-48 and only 2 playoff wins. Yeah, he should have been canned a long time ago, man. I don't see how you let this go for so long, but I think it was long overdue. The little outburst between him and J.J. Watt, I think that was probably the straw that broke the camel's back because they got in the argument in practice the week before the Steelers game. Even though they played pretty well, they could have won that game against the Steelers, to be honest with you. But after that exchange, he seemed to lost pretty much full control of that team after that. So, yeah, I think they waited too late.
All right, Marcus, go ahead and gloat.
Let me start by saying this. I'm never happy when anyone loses a job, especially in this time and environment during COVID. It's a shame that you got to be, you get fired and be unemployed. But with that being said,
This dude. What?
oh happy day, oh happy day. When Bill O'Brien won.
What's wrong with you, man?
I don't like that dude. But I'm with Herman and the rest of y'all. It's a little bit too late. Like Mark said, you traded away the top defensive lineman. You traded away your premier quarterback's best threat in DeAndre Hopkins. You don't have a first and second round draft pick for next year. So, no matter who the coach is, no matter who the GM is, it's looking mighty bleak for the next couple of seasons. The only hope you have on that team is the fact that you have your premier quarterback signed.
Yep.
And just whoever they bring in, which I'm hoping is Eric Bieniemy.
Do you?
Huh?
Do you?
Do what?
You wish that on Eric Bieniemy?
I mean,
what did he do to you for you to send him? To
what is either that or the Jets? I'd rather him go to Houston than the Jets.
Well, there's possibly 5 different offensive coordinators that could possibly
which we'll get to.
Okay.
But I feel like what he's done with Mahomes, if he could duplicate anywhere near that with Deshaun Watson, then Watson will be the premier quarterback he's supposed to be. Because let's Watson is said to be a premier quarterback, but he's been handicapped this whole time by his general manager and / head coach, and that's been the issue. And there's no way you're gonna trade away Hopkins and then go 0-4, and come on, man. That's just no. I understand it was a rough. You had a rough first couple of games. Yeah, you had the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Steelers, but come on, Minnesota, you couldn't beat another team that hadn't won a game
At home too.
Yeah, at home. There's no excuse for that. And like J3 said, Watson needs an offensive line. He doesn't have that, and it's just Bill O'Brien has done everything he can to basically sabotage the team, and it was long overdue. But it may be too late. But hopefully, to get somebody in there that can turn this thing around, and that's all I can hope for.
Yeah. It's a continuing saga going on down there with the Texans, and we're curious on how well they'll do this week if they rebound under the tutelage of Romeo Crennel, or continue to be disappointing to their fans. The other hot topic we want to have a conversation about is the COVID related issues. A lot of NFL teams, a lot of players are starting to catch this disease and affecting a lot of things going on. Last week, there were NFL games that were postponed. The first one was the Pittsburgh and the Titans game. The league had considered pushing that game to Monday or Tuesday, but then the Titans had additional tests that failed, so they had to postpone that game to week 7. Then Sunday morning when we woke up, we learned that Cam Newton, quarterback of the Patriots, had tested. Saturday morning. Cam had tested positive for the virus, and the Pats-Chiefs game had become in jeopardy. And again, there were questions on how they were going to do this, if they're going to have to cancel this game as well. Luckily, that game got postponed, and they played on Monday night. But in addition to that, on Kansas City, they had a practice squad quarterback named Jordan Ta'amu who tested positive. This morning, we found out that Stephon Gilmore tested positive, and that could potentially affect the Broncos game coming up this week, man. So a lot of teams are tripping. A lot of stuff's going on. What do you guys think?
I think they need to take about. Sorry.
Go ahead, Herman. Go ahead.
I think they need to they need to stop. At least a 2-week break. You need to get the testing, get the tracing done, give this whole thing a chance to blow over, and then start the season back up again. Because you can't afford to keep moving one game here, one game back again, I mean, you got the Titans who probably won't play again this week. Now you're looking at the Patriots. They might not be able to play. If somebody pops up on it, the Chiefs have to, you got to worry about the Chiefs now because
Gilmore was hugging.
Gilmore was hugging Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So
Yep.
they need to just stop. They need to stop, not even play this weekend. They need to cancel all games and go into a 2-week break, maybe even 3 if they need to. Reevaluate some things, let all this kind of pass by itself, and then start the league back up. And hopefully, maybe then they can go on and not have another big breakout. So if they keep doing it the way they're doing it, you might get 2 more weeks, and we're not even going to have full weeks of games, and then it's going to be over. They're going to have to postpone the entire season.
Yeah, I agree with you, Herman. I think we might be headed that way with it. I think with this many cases starting to emerge, you're gonna have to find a way to get everything settled down, get everybody thoroughly tested. Even the Stephon Gilmore situation, even though he tested negative for it, but we don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of days. You're gonna have to find a way to settle this thing down somehow. And I think this will affect the overall shortening of the season when this is all said and done.
Yeah, because it's a 3 to 5 day incubation period, so you could test negative within that time frame.
Exactly.
Day 6 you might have it when it come up on test. So that's why they need to stop. They need to just stop and cancel for about 2 to possibly 3 weeks.
And the worst part about it with the Titan situation is like last week they were at like a total of like 16 people. It was like 8 employees and 8 players. And then just today they found 2 more that came positive. So they're up to 18 people. There was also reports that they were practicing, wearing social distancing, and we're just breaking all the rules that were set in place to keep them safe so that we can enjoy this game that we love.
I agree with Herman said. Just go ahead and shut it down now for like a couple of weeks. That's the best bet. Get a handle on it. Go into quarantine. Because if we keep going at this point, people are just going to keep getting sick, and it's going to blow up. It's best just to cut it off now for 2-3 weeks, and then start over again. Maybe we won't have the Super Bowl until March, whatever. But it's better to do it that way than this because. Postponing games and everything, because like right now, like I heard a radio program the other day, like the Steelers, so they count this as their bye week. So now they got 13 straight weeks without playing football. That's not really fair to them.
And they didn't even know they was going to have a bye week.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the worst part about it. They didn't even really
they were
plan or prepare or anything.
They were practicing pretty much like they were going to have a game, and then all of a sudden. A couple of days prior before they say, hey, you guys, we're not going to play. Oh, you guys in the bye week. So, I mean, that could have been rest time for a couple of people had a little nagging injuries or so forth. That affects them. That does.
Well, see, I said 5 to 6 weeks, and where we at? Week 5, and things are looking very, not too optimistic at this point.
Yeah, Joe is saying, that he's saying that don't be surprised, if the season ends on Sunday, and that is a strong possibility, especially with teams like the Raiders. Like you remember last week, guys, we were talking about Darren Waller and how he had a function, what is it? It was
fundraiser.
Thank you. Fundraiser. And a lot of the players were there and they weren't wearing masks and they weren't social distancing. Well, the NFL got wind of that, and they decided to do something about it. So tight end Darren Waller got fined $30,000, and his teammates got fined $15,000 for not social distancing and not wearing masks like they were supposed to during this fundraiser. And this is the dumb stuff that doesn't make any sense. Why you're making a fundraiser when you could be doing it virtually, where everybody can be safe. You can still make the money and help the cause that you're trying to do, and yet we can continue with football.
Well, yeah, they deserve to get fined. Like to me, that's totally stupid. And you're gonna let yourself be caught on camera not wearing masks? Come on, man. Yeah, we gotta take this thing. We gotta take this thing seriously. And like you said, Brian, that could have been easily virtually. I applaud you for doing a charity event and for a good cause. But what good is it if everybody's getting sick?
Yeah.
Same old thing over and over again. Not thinking about it.
Did you guys hear anything about the NFL talking about like a bubble type situation with the teams, or at least having like a hotel, mandating that the teams stay in a hotel nearby? There was a couple of rumors about them trying to have a conversation about that, mandating that the whole team stays at a hotel, goes to practice, goes back to the hotel, sort of like the bubble for the NBA, but not actually in a bubble.
Yeah, because I was thinking about the whole bubble thing too with the NFL. Not to mention the logistics for the number of people, but something else that you have to consider too is if you wanted to try to designate specific stadiums for them to play in, is the care of the field, because they would tear up some football fields if you had a bunch of games at one spot.
Yeah.
Then you start thinking about the danger of injuries even worse when you're playing on bad fields. So I think
especially New York's field, huh, Herman?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. That stadium would not be up for it, huh?
Right. It would not be on the list. But yeah, I mean, like J3 said, it is. It's too late for that. They went into it. I think their plan was, we know we're going to have some COVID outbreaks, and we're going to just try to work around them. That was the NFL's plan. Was it smart? It's not looking like it was very smart right now, but that's what they.
I guess in NFL's defense is that they were anticipating that the teams and the players would follow the guidelines that they sent, but it's obvious the Titans weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing, which is why they have so many outbreaks in their facilities. Whereas the other teams, it's like one or two guys where normally you can quarantine that person, whatever you got to do with the facility, and keep the games moving like they did with the Patriots. Cam got it. They were still able to play the game Monday night. So hopefully everybody will take this as a wake-up call, and, we can get a little better grasp on what's going on.
I'm not very optimistic at this point.
Yeah, I'm not either.
And also, even though you just spend 60 minutes, tackling each other, and, listen, before the game and at the end of the game, no shaking hands, no hugging.
No hugging. Don't walk out there.
Walk out and go your own way.
That was supposed to be the rule, but nobody's abiding by it.
I mean, heck, if you can't even get the head coaches to wear the proper masks, what the hell?
Yeah, but we can talk about COVID all night.
Yeah,
I always say from the jump, it's I don't know what you expect. We've shown for years, even though it's only a few, not everybody, but they don't make the right decisions. So I don't know why we expect the players to make the right decisions, during this COVID. So, it is what it is.
Speaking of not making the right decisions, and piggybacking off of the Bill O'Brien fire, and we did want to have a little bit of fun to get an idea of what other NFL coaches that you think may be on the hot seat right now. The list I have right now is Matt Patricia from the Lions. He's 1-3 right now. His career, he's 10-25-1. Adam Gase from the Jets, he is also 0-4 this year. Dan Quinn from the Falcons, who was 0-3, and we all know how horrific his defenses have been.
He's 0-4 too, right?
Yeah, he's 0-3. They haven't had the fourth game yet. And then honorable mentions were Doug Marrone from the Jags. Look, I'm telling you what the article said. Shut up.
They played 4 games, man.
Okay, well then they're 0-4. Okay, they're 0-4. I don't know. Article I read said it was 0-3. That's what I wrote down. Leave me alone. Honorable mentions was Doug Marrone from the Jags, which we had talked about in the beginning of the season. Anthony Lynn from the Chargers, and Vic
McCarthy
from the Broncos. Shut up.
I got to disagree on that one. He's not on the hot seat.
I didn't say that. Somebody else.
The coordinator might be, but he's not on the list.
The defensive coordinator might be, but I don't think he's on the hot seat.
So out of all those, Marcus, who do you think is the first one to get cut next?
It would have to be Adam Gase and Dan Quinn. I mean, it has to be. I mean, let's be the Jets it's a show. I mean, he's almost as bad as Bill O'Brien was, and in the moves he's making, the people they had to get rid of. And
he's worse.
He is.
Nobody wants to be there.
He's not one of the best running backs in the game, and he wanted the dirt on him.
And and Quinn, come on, man. This is no excuse for being. I mean, when you up like that and you just keep now you're making a name for yourself. After that Super Bowl loss and these games. Come on, man. You can't be up by all these many points and people coming back. To be honest with you, after the Cowboys came back and beat him, I don't know how he still kept that job. That was just.
And then the very next week, who beat him? Was it Chicago?
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago beat him.
It wasn't as big of a comeback.
Yeah, it was a game they were ahead and should have won.
They were in the lead.
3 touchdowns in that game, didn't he?
They were in the lead. Yeah,
they were winning. I mean, but to me, it's Gase. In my opinion, it's Gase.
I agree.
Gase did nothing when he was with Miami. I don't even know why the Jets picked him up and signed him. You saw him. You knew what he did, and he was in your division. He's trash. He's a good offensive coordinator, but a head coach.
Is he?
No.
Is he?
No, not really.
Gase was his quarterback when he was the offensive coordinator. So is he really that good?
The Broncos.
Gase. Peyton Manning was his quarterback.
Yeah, that's where he got all this traction from when he's able to get this job.
Right, I understand.
It was in Miami too, wasn't he?
Yeah, I understand why he got Miami's job, but New York should have never hired him.
No,
that was the dumbest hire. So for me, if I'm an owner, Gase is going first. Quinn, he's right behind him. Well, I'm sorry, I would put it as Gase, Patricia, and then Quinn, because Gase ain't did nothing in Miami. He ain't did nothing in New York. Matt Patricia should have been fired last year with Detroit. I don't know how he kept his job. And Quinn has actually won something and just blew it. He's at least in these games. So I'm gonna give him a little bit of credit.
He did. He is at a Super Bowl. He did go to a Super Bowl.
And also,
I think
hold on real quick. I think in that Super Bowl loss, I think a lot of people, probably in management, attribute a lot of that to Kyle Shanahan as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Pulling back the reins on offense.
Yeah, they don't attribute all that to Dan Quinn, but he certainly done enough since then to warrant being fired.
I think Patricia kind of got somewhat a little pass because of Stafford getting hurt a year ago. So I think he got a little bit of pass on that one. But Gates got to go, Quinn got to go, and Patricia got to go. I think it's in that order.
Who did Patricia replace? Caldwell. Caldwell had them at like 9-7.
Yeah, like a couple years in a row, 9-7. Yeah.
Both the times he had the reins, and this dude ain't did nothing near that.
Well, we know what that's all about.
Yeah. But I do agree with Herman. I think it goes Gase, then Patricia, and then Quinn.
I think the NFL just finally need to realize. Listen, it's Bill Belichick, and then forget his coaching tree. It's just not going to work. Okay?
No, it's not.
It's not going to work.
They need to move on from
and let's not forget Bill Belichick had Tom Brady for 20 years. Now he has Cam Newton. So, you can't attribute, his success to everybody else that's just worked underneath him.
So the longest tenure one is the one that just got fired from the Texans.
Yeah. He was a disaster. So
he wasn't a disaster, but he was a disaster. He was a disaster when they decided to give him the reins to be the general manager as well.
Well, I tell you
what's funny.
General manager Bill O'Brien got Coach Bill O'Brien fired.
You know what's funny? If you watched, I watched their Hard Knocks a couple years ago. The players seemed to love him back then.
So, and I mean, it's kind of hard not to. 52-48, 4 division titles, Marcus. You wouldn't sign up for that?
I mean,
4 division titles. You wouldn't sign up for that?
Okay, for what he did as a coach, maybe, but I never liked him as much as a coach, and what he did as a general manager just unforgivable.
Yeah,
he handicapped that team.
Yeah,
he handicapped that team as a general manager.
But you know what? I'd have made him stand there and stay on the sideline and deal with this garbage that he had to deal with every week. So that's pretty much covering. Oh, I'm sorry, that is not covering it. We also need to have.
No, go ahead.
We also need to have a conversation about MVP possibility. Josh Allen. Josh Allen is actually having an MVP type year. So far this year, he's thrown for 1,326 yards, has 12 touchdowns, and only 1 pick. He also has rushed for 83 yards.
No.
Shut up. You wait till I finish.
No, I will not have this discussion about Josh Allen being the MVP until we talk about Russell Wilson.
We talked about Russ already. We gave Russ his due.
That was going to come up. That was going to come up.
My answer is no.
Right now, Allen is 4-0 and leading the AFC East, which is normally the Patriots' place where they reign. So we now know how Herman feels about the situation. Since this was Mark's idea, Mark, how do you feel about it?
I think Josh is in the taking. He deserves it. If you look at the stats right now, you got Dak Prescott lead the league as far as passing with 1,690. Josh falls under him. Russell Wilson comes third. Matt Ryan comes fourth, and Aaron Rodgers comes fifth. I think those 5 quarterbacks are basically in the top running. If it wasn't for Dak and them losing those games, Dak will probably be higher as far as the MVP.
Exactly.
I think, yeah, he would. But I think Josh is in the talking for MVP for what he's done with this offense so far. And for those who can remember Jim Kelly and the K gun, you might as well call this the A gun because Josh Allen is throwing the pill. He's got a new wide receiver, new toy to play with. And he's
Can you tell me the other 2 teams he beat besides the Jets and Miami?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. Who did they play?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter. Who did they play?
But they supposed to beat them though. If they lost,
didn't they beat the Vikings?
He beat the Raiders and
they did what they're supposed to do.
The Raiders and the Rams. The Rams was a good game.
The Rams was the only good game.
Come back against them, right?
Everybody else he should have beat.
Okay.
Well, you play who you.
Let's have this discussion.
You put in front of you.
If we get 4 more games, or however many more games, let's have this discussion a little later on in the season.
Now we got to go back and we got to look at the Seahawks record. Since you hyping this dude Russell up, who did he beat?
Thank you.
Go look at it. I don't know.
I'm really arguing against Russell Wilson as MVP.
I'm not, but Herman's trying to debate that he's not eligible because
I didn't say he's not eligible. I said he's
he's
not a legit candidate.
You said he's not legit. Why is he not legit?
Because he only beat Miami and the Jets for one.
Okay, they beat the Falcons. They did beat the Patriots. They beat the Cowboys and they beat Miami.
Okay.
So there was only one. There's only one legit win in that one too.
I'll take that one. I'll take that. Those wins
and their games were a lot closer. Their games were a lot closer in score than what Buffalo was doing.
Exactly.
Does Seattle have a running game?
Yes, Carson.
Yeah, they got Carson.
Carson.
I got
Carson had a good game last week.
Carson have good games, and he's a passing.
He has 2 good, legitimate wide receivers.
Yes, 2 very good. Lockett and Moore.
One.
He has Lockett and Moore.
Whatever.
I was trying to put the same way, but every time I turn around, that Bama's in the end zone.
Yeah, but that was against the Cowboys. I mean, everybody's in the end zone against the Cowboys.
Moore was in the end zone last week.
Let's move on. He's not to me.
Okay.
He's not number one.
Right, if you feel that Josh Allen is in the conversation, raise your hand.
Hey, Herman, we gonna come back with this discussion later.
Let's come back with it. Let's come back with it.
Here's my list. I totally agree with Mark that Dak would definitely be the forerunner if they were winning.
If they were winning games.
I would say Wilson and then Josh. Those are your front runners right there.
You know what's funny is I don't know.
And Aaron Rodgers is not in it.
Not above Wilson and Allen right now.
Really?
He's in there.
I don't think that dude is thrown a pick this year.
No, he has not. He has not.
We need to move on because the show's going to run way too long.
To be honest with you, I would put Dak at the bottom of that list because
he's definitely at the bottom of that list because we're not winning.
Dak's been doing it on garbage time. A lot of those things is garbage time.
They've
been doing it regular time.
But go with the fact if you guys would have won that game, he'd have been in the topic.
If y'all guys would win this game, he'd be a hands down number 1, no problem.
But if we were winning, he wouldn't have to be putting up these numbers.
Yeah, you never know. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, we use Zeke anymore, but again, we're gonna get all the way off topic on that one. Don't get me started. All right, so one of the biggest stories that actually happened this morning is what we found out is the WFT, WTF.
Washington football team.
Yeah, that team. They announced that they are now benching their first round draft pick Dwayne Haskins for Kyle Allen Sunday against the Rams. This season right now, Haskins has thrown for 939 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 picks, and he has a quarterback rating of 80.3. Do you guys think that the Washington team is now going to ruin a young quarterback, or what are your thoughts on this one? We're going to wait for Herman last. We're going to go with Marcus first.
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know how to feel about this. I mean, some could say it was coming. You know, you can also say, give him the chance. I mean, I guess, we talked about this earlier, and Herman said, they probably just filled him out. Riviera has filled him out. It's like he wants to move on, but I'm like,
Rivera.
Whatever his name is. But for what? You don't have it. I don't really think you have any. You're not going to win the division. You're not going to make the playoffs. You're not going to do it. Why not just, I'm like, let him ride it out. What's the point? I'm of that mindset. Let him ride it out. Then I'm of that mindset. Okay, maybe let Allen go in. Maybe you can win some games, but it's and like J3 just said, they got a garbage offensive line, so that's held against them. But I don't know. I didn't have much expectations for the Washington football team this season anyway. I hate to see a young black quarterback, get benched like that. He didn't just get benched. He got promoted to third behind Alex Smith, the guy with the trophy leg. To be honest with you, I really don't care. I have no expectations of them in the season, so I really don't care. I feel bad for the guy. Maybe he can, maybe Allen will stick it up.
That's spoken like a true fan.
I mean, come on. I live in reality. There's no expectations for them. They're probably, if not the worst, the second.
Herman, was he living in reality earlier this week on Facebook when they were playing Cleveland?
That was not this week.
Last week when they played Cleveland. Was he living reality then?
I would have started messing with my people. I thought they could beat the Browns, but it looks like, just like I said about the Rams,
They should have beat the Browns.
Just like I said about the Rams, going to sweep the NFC East. Looks like the Browns are going to sweep the NFC least too.
But here's the thing too is that like you said, the NFC East is wide open. How, as a head coach with the defense that you guys have, go to them and tell him that I'm gonna keep trotting out this rookie who is missing passes, who's overthrowing people, who's taking us out of games that we actually have a chance to be in, when I have somebody on the roster that is competent, that knows my offense better, and can give us a chance to win this garbage division?
They're not going to win a garbage division. Come on.
How do you know? Nobody's good in that.
He knows it.
Come on,
I told y'all,
Cowboys are going to win the division.
They already beat the Eagles with him.
Okay. I told y'all earlier in the earlier episode that we did what Rivera was going to do. He's checked. First of all, coaches want to be married to their quarterbacks. They don't want to come in and have no arranged marriage. All right. So he did exactly what I said he was going to do, which was he was going to evaluate Haskins, and he only needed, surprising me, 4 games to do that. Now it's
preseason.
Right.
Preseason.
Pretty much.
Go ahead.
Now it's time to evaluate Kyle Allen. He's going to see what he has with him. He already
know he has a Kyle Allen.
He kind of does, but he might not.
With this team.
Yeah, not with this team. So he's going to evaluate that. He's probably going to wind up putting in Alex Smith at some point. Unfortunately, I don't want to say he's doing it so this happens, but Allen may get hurt again, and he'll take an injury settlement. He'll get y'all off the books. Get him off the books. And then he's going to marry his quarterback in the draft next year, and he's going to roll that way. No coach wants to come in and have an arranged marriage. Your job depends on that. They might sell the owner on saying, hey, I'm going to give this guy a chance, but they're not going to do it. They want to marry their quarterback, and that's what Rivera's going to do. Yeah. And he started the process.
I agree with you both, Brian and Herman, on this one. I'm pretty sure Rivera looked at the remaining games and said, if I can pull it off now, we could salvage the season. this was like the perfect time to really do it if he was going to do it.
Killed two birds
Gaskins
with one
really
stone.
didn't. Haskins hasn't really shown me any progression. You look at the other two. You look at the other two rookies in the league right now. Up in Los Angeles Chargers rookie and Burrows. I mean, you see so much potential with them. You see the growth in them each game. I don't see it in Haskins. You had to.
Think about what Burrow did
had
the
to.
first week. The first week he had to start. He didn't even take reps during
Exactly.
practice that week, and he went out there and lit it up.
Yeah.
He went out there and lit it up.
And you saw the progression from that game until the next game he played. You saw that. So therefore, I didn't see it in Haskins. I honestly didn't. So
That's a good point because even those games that the Chargers are losing, you're still seeing greatness out of Justin Herbert. So
even Burrow too. Burrow's showing
both of them you do.
So,
You know, Joe is saying that the quarterback doesn't matter if they can't stop anybody, but if the defense isn't always on the field because the quarterback is doing 1, 2, 3 and punt, they couldn't stop some people.
or 1, 2, 3 interception.
1, 2, 3 interception. I mean, they definitely need some more help from the offense. The defense is getting tired in the third and fourth quarter because they're out there all the time. The offense is just not giving them nothing. Yeah, you give them a little something on offense, you get a couple scores, you're gonna see some wins out of this team, unfortunately. All right, so the final quick note we're going to talk about, and then we're going to get into these games we picked last week. The Joe Flacco era begins with the Jets. Last week, Sam Darnold got tackled pretty hard on the shoulder, came back in and played the whole game, but he is now classified week to week. So Flacco, do your thing with the Jets, baby. Anybody got anything on that?
no.
Different quarterback, same result.
Oh,
A
most
loss.
definitely.
Oh, the running back, he's back at practice. He's been cleared.
Oh, is he? Bell?
Yeah, Bell, he got cleared to practice. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I said, different quarterback, same result. No matter. It's the Jets. Jets.
Jets, Jets. All right. So we're going to go through these games we picked last week. We picked 5. Of course, one got canceled due to COVID, so we're just going to go through the 4 that we had right last week. First game was Thursday night. It was the Denver Broncos against the Jets, who we just finished talking about. Denver won this game 37-28 behind first-time starter Brett Rippon. Rippon was 19 of 31 for 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then got sloppy and threw 3 picks. Darnold was a pedestrian, 23 of 42 for 230 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. He did run 6 times for 84 yards and 1 touchdown. He was actually the leader in rushing. and just a special note, winless teams that go up against the Jets in the Gase era are 7-0.
I wish you had told us that stat before we picked this game.
So, in this particular one, I picked Denver. I picked it right. Marcus, who did you pick?
I picked Denver. I actually said this was probably gonna be a pretty boring game, but it wasn't that bad. That one run by Donald, that was actually pretty exciting. That was definitely
in the first quarter.
I mean, still it was
a good game though.
It was actually a decent game, and like you said, until Brett Rippon decided he wanted to try to get a game away, by throwing 3 picks, it was decent. I wasn't totally bored. I did fall asleep doing it, but it wasn't that bad.
Who'd you pick?
Broncos.
Okay. Herman.
Yeah, I picked the Jets on this one, and I have no idea why. now that I look back at it, as much as I've done the Jets, I think they were home, right?
Thing last week. We were saying the same thing last week.
They were home, so I think that's what it was. But yeah, I picked the Jets.
Mark.
I took Denver in this one, man. I fell asleep on it, man. I can't lie.
No, he didn't know. He picked the Jets.
Who?
We both picked the Jets.
Who picked the Jets?
I didn't lone wolf this.
I think I picked the Jets. I apologize.
I took Denver, man.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling no ex-Washington cousin, nephew's quarterback, whatever.
Huh?
Ripping. Never mind. So, yeah, keep going, Mark.
That's it, Denver. all the way.
Okay.
Go
All
ahead.
right. So
We need to start writing down these picks. So
Y'all do. I write my picks down.
I circled it, but I'm gonna go back and look at the tape. I'm pretty sure I did circle Denver, but I think I might have changed
Denver.
it.
Denver.
All right. So we're gonna go to the next game. This was Sunday night. This was the Philadelphia Eagles against the 49ers. Wentz pulled out a much needed win against the 49ers backups, 25-20. Wentz was 18 of 28 for 193 yards, 1 touchdown and a pick. He also ran the score in. 49ers actually had a total of 417 yards on offense, but they also turned the ball over 3 times. Herman, who did you pick in this matchup?
Yeah, I picked the 49ers in this one. I didn't think there was any way that the Eagles were going to pull it out. But, Wentz, as much as the Eagles fans dog him out, I thought Cowboys fans were delusional about our quarterback. Eagles fans are the exact same way because Wentz is out there with nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, absolutely nothing.
True.
And he's out there
True.
with heart, playing with some heart, trying to win these games. And
It's him, some running backs, and a tight end.
That's it. And he pulled one off. He beat the 49ers. So I give him his props. Eagles fans, y'all worse than we are.
Marcus.
I picked the 49ers. I was surprised the Eagles won that game, but I really don't know why because the 49ers is just hurting. They got injuries everywhere. The starting quarterback is out. Nick Mullins, he went in there, 2 picks, got benched. They're missing, Bowles on defense. It's definitely not the same 49ers that we saw last year. I don't think anybody picked them to get back to Super Bowl, and it doesn't look like they will. I picked the 49ers. I was wrong.
Mark.
Yeah, I took the 49ers too. Did not see this one coming. Eagles got their first defensive takeaway in this game against the Eagles.
Yes.
Against the 49ers.
God, that joint was terribly thrown.
And they win the game. I'm like, go figure that. I had 49ers. I didn't think the Eagles would be able to go up there and do this. So yeah, I picked wrong.
Yeah, I also was with you guys. I picked the 49ers. I thought that Shanahan had a pretty good game plan for them offensively, but Mullins mullined it up. Is that a new word, Mullins? Because those 2 picks is what cost them. Like you said, Mark, the Eagles had no turnovers, and he threw a lollipop right up to him. And I mean, the Eagles weren't much better. They just made enough plays to get this win, but it was an ugly game. I mean, the Eagles beat backups. I mean, they got their W. They got to be able to say that they're number 1 in the NFC East, but it's not really much to brag about. All right, so the next game we're going to talk about was the Falcons going down to play the Packers. Rodgers is on an MVP tear of the NFL as the Packers cruise past the Falcons 30-16. Rodgers was 27 of 33 for 327 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no picks. The Packers D also chipped in with 4 sacks of Matt Ryan, who was a pedestrian 28 of 39 for 285 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Gurley did have a nice little stat line. He got 2 rushing touchdowns in the contest. Mark, who did you pick in this game?
I took the Packers on this one. Packers were successful. They had an all-around team effort, man. You had Tunyon, the tight end, catching 3 touchdowns. You had Zadarius Smith sacking Matt Ryan 3 times. He had Aaron Rodgers throwing out to everybody on his offensive roster. Green Bay was just on point on this one, man. Atlanta didn't have a chance. I took the Packers, and they were successful.
Herman.
Yeah, I went with the Packers. This was a no-brainer for me. I mean, you figured even if Atlanta had gotten a lead on the Packers, they weren't going to hold it. So easy pickings right there. It was an okay game. I think I fell asleep on this one, but I mean, come on, there was no way I was picking Atlanta.
Yeah, I picked the Packers. I was initially going to go with Atlanta, but you guys talked me out of it, so I appreciate that. This game was never in question. I mean, the Packers, like Mark said, they had it offensively, defensively. I mean, the Falcons had no answers for him at all. Julio went out early in this game, and they just harassed Matt Ryan the rest of the time. So I did pick the Packers, and thanks to you guys, I picked it right. Marcus, finish us out.
Of course, I picked the Packers. Like Herman said, even if they were in the lead, there was no way going to keep that lead against Brett Favre and this MVP season he's trying to have. And I think with his two top wide receivers were out, and he still threw for those yards and touchdowns for 4 touchdowns. So and then the running back Aaron Jones, he's looking. What are you doing, bro?
He's setting
We
up
about
for
to
the
the
next
last
game.
game. I'm a man.
It's just the Packers. The Packers are definitely looking, looking like they're going to be a contender this year. I mean, they were good last year. It's
Stop laughing. Stop laughing.
It shows you what a difference. I guess the coaching makes. Matt LaFleur is coming there, and he's him and he turned the team around. There was a lot of talk at first about how not Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers and him weren't going to get along. But they seem to be getting along. Winning helps everything. When you're winning, then you get along.
Sure.
And you're right. They seem to be working on the same page now than before. LaFleur and Rodgers. So you starting to see them blow up from that one.
Hey, can we get a shot of Brian on the screen by himself?
No, we don't need a shot of Brian on the screen by himself. Y'all are awful. I can't wait to wake up. So for those who are new to the show, whenever we make our picks, if one of us, what we call lone wolf, or chooses a team separately, and that team loses, then when we do that segment, we have to wear what's called the dunce hat, because we should have known better than to pick that dumbass team. And in this case, it was the Patriots against the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes and the Chiefs continue their dominance of the league, winning 26-10 Monday night. The game could have been closer, but a few untimely mistakes prevented the Pats from scoring. At the end of the first half, Hoyer took an untimely sack with no timeouts to prevent a possible touchdown field goal. Kansas City's defense got a pick 6 in the fourth quarter to seal the deal. So I picked this game wrong. I apologize to Chiefs Nation for doubting you, and I will not do it again. Now get me off the screen by myself. Mark.
Yeah, this one I took the Chiefs on this one, but Hoyer's mistakes in the red zone cost New England big time.
When he took that sack,
I think
in the first half, right before halftime.
Yes. A couple of injuries in there too kind of set them back, because they lost their right guard. I think that hurt them early in the game. And then Kansas City, man, I mean they did it. They did it without their defensive star, Chris Jones, on defense. But they kept the pressure on them. They kept calling some unthinkable offensive plays again. And they kept the Patriots were double teaming Tyreek Hill, and they finally got him open, got him free, and what you got out of it was a touchdown out of it. But I took the Chiefs, and I was victorious on this one. Nice hat, Brian. Nice hat.
Thank you. Hopefully you'll get to wear one too. All right, Marcus, who did you pick? Let's hurry up and get this segment over.
I picked the Chiefs, but I disagree with you, Brian. I don't think you owe that much of an apology to Chiefs Nation. I really believe that if Cam had played that game, the Patriots could have won that game. They pretty much that first half, they were shutting Patrick Mahomes and that offense completely down. Patrick Mahomes, every time he rolled out,
6-3.
Yeah, every time he rolled out, they were there to get him. I think Bill Belichick, he had a plan, it's just that he didn't have his right quarterback in there to execute it when the offense was in there. I don't believe definitely Tom Brady wouldn't have made that move at the end of halftime, and I don't believe Cam would have either. That probably would have been the only field goal, but hey, every point counts.
Right.
And there's a stat that only 3 times has Patrick Mahomes been held to no points in the first half, and each 3 of those games has been against the Patriots. So I believe the Patriots, they have a solution for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. It's just that you have to be able to score, because eventually they're going to break out. They're inevitable, and they just didn't have the offense in place. And I believe if Cam was there, I believe they actually could have won that game.
All right, Herman, hurry up. My head's getting tired.
Yeah, I picked the Chiefs on this one. I don't know that the Patriots would have won that game, but that would have been a closer game. You can see from the play calling in the red zone too that the Patriots didn't trust the quarterback.
Hoyer.
Hoyer, yeah. They didn't trust him. I mean, they ran some questionable run plays, and then the mess he did at the end of the first half, that was like a rookie mistake, and he's been in the league way too long.
A long time.
And we all saw it. We all saw it.
He's been in the league way too long to make a mistake like that. So, yeah, the Chiefs did start off slow, but, of course, they got going, and, they pulled away. It was, it was what I expected to see even with Cam, and it would have just been a closer game. So, but I don't think the Patriots would have won. So, yeah, I picked the Chiefs.
All right, good. Now we can end this segment. All right, so, how did you guys do? What did y'all end up with?
I was 2-2.
Yeah, I was 2-2.
Well, shoot.
I could have been 3-2 had the Steelers.
I was 1-4.
I was 3-2.
You went on 3-2.
You mean 1-3? We only did 4 games.
1-3. I was 1-3 then. Either way, the shine is gone. Don't listen.
I tried to talk you out of them lone wolves, but you didn't want to listen.
You did. All right, so we're gonna pick these last few games and get this.
Let me ask you a question. Did we know Cam had COVID before?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't, Mark. Absolutely did not know Cam didn't have COVID. Nonetheless, I still had to wear the hat because they majority rules, unfortunately, on delayed game. All right, so the first game we're going to talk about is the Thursday night game. We got the 3-1 Buccaneers going to the 3-1 Chicago Bears. Vegas likes the Bucs in this one. The Bucs are giving up 5.5. We'll start with Herman.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bucs on this one. The Bears sat down Trubisky and they pulled out their big gun Nick Foles. Yeah, how'd that go? 3 points. Yeah, we scored. Mm-hmm. Their season's done. So it's just a matter of time. All those wins that they got, they're gonna catch up to them in losses. So I'm going with the Bucs.
Mark.
Yeah, I'm with you, Herman. The Bucs. Seemed like Foles fell down to earth last week. The running game was off last week too. Tampa Bay defense is much better. Tampa Bay they basically gave up a lot of yards in passing though, but I can't see Foles beating the Bucs at all. So I'm taking the Bucs on this one.
Yeah, Joe also agrees with you two guys. He's picking the Bucs. I'm also going to go in with you guys with the Bucs. The Bucs got the 7th ranked defense, and the Bears got the 19th ranked offense. Brady just came off a high game, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick against the Chargers. And the Bears, like I said, Herman's coming off 11-19 loss against the Colts. Foles threw 42 times in that game.
So they're right back to that again.
They're right back together. Chicago got to run the ball better if they want to do this, but I don't see that happening on a short week. So give me the Buccaneers. Marcus?
Of course, I'm gonna take the Buccaneers. Even with Nick Foles starting, I don't have much faith in the Bears. I think the Bucs are finally starting to get that together. I think they're finally starting to gel. Even though they were behind in that game last week, they came back and Brady had what did he do? I think 4 or 5 touchdowns. Five. He's
the NFC Player of the Week.
Oh, okay. And the bad thing is they lost OJ Howard, so that means Gronk has had to step up because he's pretty much been non-existent this season.
True.
So we'll see if he can step up.
Gronk to step up. Yeah.
Yeah. So get him in fantasy.
No, I'm good. I'm taking the Buccaneers.
All right. So this time next week we are going to have a special guest host. Gregory Johnson is going to join the Delay a Game team. So real quick, his pick for Thursday night is also the Bucs. So we got a whole round of everybody going with the Bucs. So we'll start with the next game. The next game is the 1-3 Vikings versus the 4-0 Seattle Seahawks. Vegas likes the Seahawks in this one to the tune of 7.5 points that they have to give up. We'll start with Mark.
Yeah, I think the Vikings they're a tough team to run on this year. I think the emergence of the young rookie they got, Justin Jefferson, has helped Cousins out a lot. He looked a lot like he did last year in last week's game. Dalvin Cook got a little bit nicked at the end of the game, which I think he may not be 100%. But I'm taking the Seahawks on this one. I think Russell Wilson is going to be victorious on this one. Seahawks.
Yeah, Mark, I agree with you on the Seahawks. The Seahawks right now have the second-ranked offense in the NFL and third in passing. Now their defense is 32nd, so that's a little question mark. But the Vikings are 30th in defense, so I mean they're just as bad, and they're 16th offensively. They finally got their first win against the Texans, but Russell's on the MVP tour, so give me the Hawks as well. Herman, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going with the Seahawks, led by the MVP candidate Russell Wilson.
I like the candidate.
But the Vikings. I don't know. Maybe I need to get on Marcus's bandwagon with the whole Kirk Cousins sucks thing because they're just not doing it. You know what I mean?
You ain't lying about that. Oh, you ain't lying. Now, last week he played pretty decent. He did play pretty decent last week.
He did, and that means that this week he's not going to. So I'm definitely going with Seattle, especially at home. Even though they don't have the 12th man, it's still the home field advantage. I'm going with Seattle.
All right, Marcus, you got some surprises up your sleeve for us?
Well, no, I'm gonna pick the Seahawks, but I'm at to disagree a little bit with Herman on this. I'm going to go against my usual Kirk Cousins hating. If he can shine, it'll definitely be against Seattle's defense. I mean, they don't have much of a defense at all. If he can throw some passes and throw some long bombs, it's against that Seattle Seahawks defense.
Hey, look, Marcus, there's only 30 teams in 30 seconds, so you're right.
So, I believe there's a possibility they could win this game, but Russell will, he'll put the team on his shoulders and say the hell with the defense and do what he got to do to pull a win out.
MVP candidate Russell Wilson.
MVP candidate.
Well, Gregory agrees with all of us too. He is also going with the Seahawks.
J3 also agrees to the Seahawks. Everybody picked the Seahawks.
All right. So next game we're going to talk about are the 1-3 Chargers against the 2-2 Saints. The Saints are giving up a big one. They're giving up 8 points in this game, more than likely because they're at home. The number 4 Saints offense versus the number 10 Chargers defense. Saints did go down 14 points last week against the Lions, but they ended up rallying to win 35-29. Kamara is the key to the game, and Chargers did lose Eckler to a hamstring in that game. Due to those conditions, I'm going to go with the Saints. Marcus, who do you got?
I might be I don't know yet, but I might be Lone Wolfing on this one. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Chargers. I'm putting some faith in that young quarterback. He's been looking good. The Saints, Drew Brees is not who he used to be. I do give it to Kamara is shining. That could be the game changer. If Kamara has a big day, they'll probably win that game. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. I'm put a little bit of faith in the Chargers. If they can win this game, this will be a big win for them.
Herman?
I'm going with the Saints. I think we saw. I know last week they did get down, but they came back, and I think Drew Brees, looking at my fantasy scores, he had a little bit better game, and I think he's about to have a breakout against the Chargers. Justin Herbert, he battled good against Tom Brady last week, and he went down. He's going to go down to another Hall of Fame quarterback this week. I'm going with the Saints.
Mark?
Yeah, on this one, I'm surprised the Saints has been winning without Michael Thomas in the lineup. Brees has been spreading the ball around pretty good. He even got the Emmanuel Sanders involved in the offense last week. The Chargers defense has not really slowed anybody down. And then by them losing Austin Eckler, they're going to rely a lot more on Keenan Allen. I'm going to take the Saints on this one. So, Marcus, it sounds like you lone wolf in this one, buddy.
Well, we have a guest host.
Oh.
So let's see what Gregory chose.
Okay,
Marcus, go ahead. He got the Saints.
No.
Do that better than that now. That thing is like somebody stepped on his tail or something. All right. So we're going to now discuss this Colts versus the Browns game. The Colts are 3-1, and the Cleveland Browns are 3-1. We're going to start this one off with Mark. Mark, who do you think has the upper hand in this one?
Man, the Browns ran for over 300 yards last week in rushing.
Hey, man, shut up. Nobody needs to hear this.
That was a combined. I didn't say who they played. I said what they had.
Hey, everybody know who they
Blah,
played.
blah,
Say that for. Just pick your team.
But they did lose Nick Chubb for a while. But I think their running game is still going to be on point. The Colts do have one of the top defenses in the league right now. Their secondary is the best. Baker Mayfield has thrown. He's been okay, but not a lot of interceptions quite yet. This is a real tough one, but I'm gonna take the Colts on this one. I'm going to Colts.
Herman,
you did all that talking about the Browns, and then you went with the Colts.
We always do that.
This dude, I'm going with the Colts. Like Mark said, the Colts got a pretty good defense. Phillip Rivers, he's doing okay. I think he might be down on his picks this year. He's not throwing picks as bad as he was last year. And I watched the Browns. I watched how Dallas's defense went up and down the field on them, especially in the fourth quarter. Even though their offense went up and down the field on Dallas, Dallas did get a couple stops, which is that's rare for that defense.
Yes.
So
I didn't know they got the couple.
Yeah, I think they had like 2 stops maybe the whole game. I'm going with the Colts.
All right, so Gregory is going with the Browns in this particular matchup. Marcus, who you got?
I'm actually surprised that the Browns are already at 3-1. They did look really good last week, even though it was against a subpar defense. I kind of got the feeling maybe this could be their year, but I'm gonna have to go with the Colts. Like Mark said, they actually ranked number 3 in defense, behind number 1's the Ravens, and number 2 is the Chiefs. Matter of fact, but I'm surprised. Like they weren't already stacked enough on offense, not the number 2 defense, but the Colts defense is looking really great. They're not going to be able to pull off against the Colts what they put off last week. I'm gonna go with the Colts.
Hey, real quick, I just want to say what's up to one of my coworkers who just commented. What's happening, Ivan? Thanks for checking us out, man.
And go Cowboys, Ivan. So Gregory, you got to catch up with your uncle because I'm gonna need to get you this dunce hat for next week because you are lone wolfing it, sir. I am also going with the Colts. And it's going to be a good game because of the inflated stats of the Cowboys game. Cleveland is now ranked number 1 in rushing, and the Colts are the number 2 defense. So, I'm going with the Colts, but this one can actually go either way. It's really hindered on Baker Mayfield, and if he has to actually be a quarterback, or if they can get this running game going against this Colts defense.
You see what Gregory said?
Yeah, Gregory said, "Oh, you don't mind no wolfing it."
I don't know how you're gonna pick the Browns after they what they did to his team last week.
Because they've been playing fairly decent. They've been playing some good ball, and the Colts they barely beat Chicago. So
I think it's gonna be a tough game.
And I'm not for real. I don't like Phillip Rivers that much for real. So
I don't either, but I still think the Colts are playing good. I think the Colts are playing some pretty good football right now. So,
all right. So final game we're going to discuss are the 4-0 Bills, led by MVP candidate Josh Allen. Versus the 3-0 Titans. The Titans got an early bye due to the coronavirus, which they may get another one this week. While the Bills continue to show improvement, beating the Vegas Raiders 30-22 last week. Josh Allen is playing real well. He has that offense ranked number 4 and number 2 in passing. And this one, I think the Buffalo continues to roll. I think they get to 5-0. Gregory, I lost my page.
He picked the Bills.
He did.
Yep.
Gregory did also picked the Buffalo Bills in this one. So let's go with Herman.
So, you know, I had did my picks before the show started and everything. And
Like right before the show started?
No, earlier today, you know, I was doing my research and stuff. And, you know, I was going to pick the Bills, but y'all made me mad with the whole Josh Allen MVP talk. So, you know what? Now I'm flipping my pick, and I'm picking the Titans. I don't think this game's actually going to happen, but I'm picking the Titans this week.
Okay, just for spite.
Just because Ryan Tannehill, who is not an MVP candidate, is going to outplay your so-called MVP candidate.
I love it. All right, Mark, how you feeling?
No question. Buffalo Mafia, baby. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. I'm taking
You
it.
mean you're not scared of Tannehill and the Titans with the COVID?
They hadn't practiced, remember?
That is true.
They practice.
Herman, are you sure now? He's
They
right. They
practice.
haven't practiced, and this will be
They
2
practice.
playoffs.
You ain't talking me out of it.
That's true. Okay. All right.
Derrick
Mark,
Henry, baby.
is Herman going lone wolf, or are you going to help him out?
No, I'm going to have to go with NFL MVP candidate Josh Allen as well. Like I don't know how you expect the Titans to win when pretty much everybody on the team got COVID. What they going?
Hey, you want to tackle somebody with COVID?
What they going to do? Cough on the Bills? That's the only way they're going to beat Josh Allen in that offense. It's coughing on him and Stephon Diggs. I'm going to go with the Bills.
All right, Mr. Triplett, let's hear it.
Get your hat ready for next week if the game get played.
Yeah, you guys, make sure you tune in and watch the show next week. There's a possibility that Gregory or Herman may be wearing the dunce hat that I had to wear earlier and not look as good in wearing it.
I don't wear the dunce hat.
Look at y'all. Yeah, just like, never mind. All right, so we pretty much wrap this show up. We guys appreciate you joining us. I'm going to pass it on over to Marcus and get us out of here, Marcus.
Before we leave, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe, especially if you're watching on YouTube. Help us get those likes up. Join our Facebook group, Delay of Game. Catch us on Twitter, official Delay of Game.
No.
At Delay of Game 3, and then catch us on Instagram at official Delay of Game. We didn't give our final thoughts. No final thoughts? You kind of jumped the gun there, host. No final thoughts?
Yeah, you closing it out now, so.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna give my final thoughts. Take this thing seriously, man. Because if we don't, we're gonna be without. We might be without football. Period. Take this thing seriously. Stop messing around. You know, doing.
I got a final thought. Miami Dolphin fans, don't do it.
Don't do
it. Real quick, the governor of Miami gave them full authority for max capacity at their 65,000 seat stadium.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. Don't do that.
Mark, you know that your squad's going to have some fans this week.
Not 65,000.
Not 65,000.
But Pittsburgh's going to have some fans this week.
Yeah. So stay home.
I didn't hear that. I did not hear that.
Especially for the Dolphins. Don't risk your life for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah, two are not even starting. Yeah. For Fitzmagic.
Don't do it.
You don't catch COVID for Fitzmagic.
Yeah, don't do it.
Come on. But anyway, we'll see y'all same bat time, same bat channel next week. Peace. We out.
Peace. Thanks for joining.
Thanks.